I've taken a break from the big stuff and collared Steve to talk about, I think, one of your pet projects, isn't it?
It is a little bit, yeah, you could say that.
It's the Quarry Hunslet in 009.
Yeah.
Now, this has been quite a long-term project, hasn't it?
It has. It's one of those things, and particularly long-term, because I wrote to Railway Modeller in about 1993 asking them to produce a Quarry Hunslet,
And did they?
no,
Right,
no,
okay,
I had
well.
to get a job here to do it. So.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that we've been working on, and people said we couldn't do it, and we can.
And they are absolute. I think that's the key. Is that it's been a long-term project, but presumably there have been some engineering challenges along the way, haven't there? Because you've got to cram everything in there.
Yeah. It's got a inexplicably short wheelbase, and it's tiny. And there's a motor in there. There's a DCC socket in there. There's sound. No, there isn't sound. No, that's just silly. But yeah, it works and it runs, and it's quite weighty, and it does everything it says on the tin. And
we've got 4 variants here, and I think one of the important things is to point out that the 2 open cab variants just show that you've crammed everything into the boiler, smoke box, firebox area.
Yep.
It's not like very many traditional 009 models where you stuff a great big motor in the cab.
There is no cab. Sorry, there is no motor in the cab. So yeah, everything is in the boiler. There's, like I say, there's a motor in there. There's the DCC socket for those that want to use it. It's a 6-pin DCC socket.
Right.
There are, as you can see, 2 different open cab types and 2 different closed cab types.
Right. Can you talk us through the variants then? Because there obviously are. There's an obvious difference between several of them.
Yeah. So we'll start with the open cab pair. If you park them alongside each other, the first obvious difference is the different safety valve arrangements. So one's got a twin sort of ram's bottom type, and the other's got a salter type with the associated tall trumpet. So this model on the near side is that of the Penryn Quarry locos, and the one on the rear is the Dinorwic locos.
Hence the buffers as well.
Hence the dumb buffers, yeah. So unfortunately we can't model the Penryn style coupling arrangements in 009, but we can do the Dinorwic dumb buffers.
Well, they've got the standard 009 coupling on there, which is obviously what the market demands.
Yeah, exactly. So in order to cater for different layouts and arrangements for people, the models that are fitted with dumb buffers will actually come with a short peg on the buffer beam, moulded into the buffer beam, and in the accessory pack will be 2 different lengths of dumb buffer, one the full standard prototypical length and one the shorter one, which you might see on some preserved examples, and also that you would be able to fit to allow it to couple up with other things or depending on different coupling arrangements. So that's entirely down to the user to fit whichever version fits or suits their operation the best. Aside from the obvious there, so we're moving on to the slightly less obvious. When you pick the locos up, you'll see the ends of the frames are different. So the Penryn loco has a square frame all the way to the length of the buffer beam and a deeper buffer beam, whereas the Dinorwic locos have a shallow buffer beam which allowed them to get on and off the various inclines. So that's been modelled. So there's a unique running plate for the Alice type locos, the Dinorwic locos, compared to the Penryn ones.
And the frames, they're not slab. They're not just a slab of metal.
No,
there's
cutouts in there where you can see
the depth,
the firebox behind, and the brake gear. I think on that one, yeah. So you can see the brake gear behind the frames. The couplings are removable, so you can take the couplings out, unscrew the coupling pockets as you can on the Baldwin. So if you want to use a different coupling system, that's entirely up to you. There are other subtle differences on there with the 2 types. I'm just trying to remember now because it's been a while since I looked at these. They've both got the fire iron support brackets on there. That one's got. They both come with a shovel. So the most important difference, actually, I've just remembered this. You can't see it very well because the EPs are painted black. but the De Norwig locos had what's known as a backhead injector. So the two injectors for supplying the water to the boiler were actually mounted to the backhead of the boiler. So they are on the De Norwig locos, whereas on the Penryn locos they had a separate injector on either side of the tank and not on the backhead. So those are separate mouldings that are fitted to either side. So another bit of decoration difference.
Okay.
And the blower pipe that went from the cab to the blower for the live steam blower, that's on a different side, so you've got different mouldings for that as well.
You've really gone to town on these, haven't you?
Yeah, it's kind of my thing.
Yes. Okay, and now we've got two versions with cabs as well.
We'll shuffle those out of the way. So the cabbed versions we've got, everybody's favourite seems to be Britomart, and the one that kind of slides under the radar is Dorothea. So Britomart comes with, it's in preserved condition. It's the Penny Orseth loco that's now in Caledonian Blue livery up the Festiniog Railway, complete with wooden toolbox, standard Hunslet style cab with cab cutout. This one's got vacuum braking gear fitted. It's got the Festiniog cut corners to the cab roofs. It's also got lamp irons fitted for carrying head and tail lamps as required. And it's pretty much as it's running today. So if you go up to the Festiniog Railway, you can see that.
You can actually see that on the line.
As you can all of them, you know, they're all modelled on preserved. Well, all of these examples that we've got in the catalogue are preserved and running on various railways up in the top left corner, and in the case of Dorothea down in Cornwall.
Okay.
So the odd one out really is Dorothea. We'll come to last, which is the other cabbed version. So on the Dorothea version, you've got an as-built Hunslet cab. This was the only loco the Hunslet supplied to Dorothea Quarry. It's just been restored down at Launceston in Cornwall. Very exquisite lining, nice, really nice looking loco. But it was supplied with what's known as the later port style cab. So the cab side opening is totally different. But it's got the distinctive Hunslet flick on the edge of the cab roof.
Yes, you can really tell the difference between two cab roofs when you've got them sat next to each other.
Yeah, so obviously the Britomart as built would have had the flick, but to go through various tunnels on the Festiniog it was cut off. So that's a bespoke Festiniog cab, that one. But obviously the thing with Dorothea, you've got no lamp irons fitted. Just trying to think what else we've done with this one. This has got, the other thing that's unique with this is the Dorothea locos had the dumb buffers, but the dumb buffers were really, really close together, the same as the Penny Orseth ones, as they were new. So we've got a separate unique running plate for this one, and you can fit the dumb buffers very close together. I think they just fit outside the coupling arrangement, but again that's something that you're going to have to fit depending on which railway you've got and what curve you're using.
I've got to be honest, curves are going to be good news for these, because they really will traverse, I would guess, a very tight curve.
If you put a 2p piece on the table and put a rail around the outside of it at 9mm gauge, they will run around a 2p piece.
That's astounding.
Yeah.
So for all those who do their rail bending round their knee, they're in luck. These aren't going to haul round.
They might not couple to anything because of the overhang.
Yes.
But as a technical exercise, because it's a four-wheeler and all wheels are powered, well, the rear wheels are powered and it transmits to the front through rods, they will run around anything.
So I mean, this approach, you're really taking a very new approach to 009 compared to the very traditional 009 market, which has, let's be honest, largely been around fairly generic locomotives, and you've got every one of these is different. Every one of these is based on the prototype. There's presumably a variety of different footplates and all that sort of thing.
I mean the tooling suite for this is exhaustive, and like we've looked at with other things. What you see is not necessarily all we've got. So there will be stuff in the bank for future runs. There's other variants we can do. The Quarry Hunslet, the chassis is designed to come away very cleanly, so should you want to buy one to use for something else, then that's also something.
Oh, so you've actually thought of the aftermarket market as well.
It was not a driving factor in the design, but it was something that was conscious in my mind that, again, knowing the 009 market, that people will want to use this for something else should they be that way inclined, so that the body removes cleanly, leaving the chassis and the rods and the cylinders behind, so you can put different frames on it or whatever else. But the design there allows us to personalise our versions, obviously, with different sets of frames and different combinations.
Right, that's quite interesting.
I mean, it's fairly comprehensive that all of this is in one big package. We set the standard with a Baldwin. This is the next big thing, really.
So yes, the Baldwin is a real success, very popular.
Yeah.
And the beauty of this, of course, is you can run them pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
You're not tied so much to one particular line on this. And I mean, I can certainly see freelance lines with freelance industrial lines, that sort of thing. They're all going to be
in my eyes, and I'm sure in many other people's. The Quarry Hunslet is the cute narrow gauge loco. That is the one that will find its way onto many 4mm layouts on the back of a flat wagon, on the back of a lorry. It'll find its way onto many narrow gauge layouts because, well, look at it.
It is
very
beautiful.
sweet.
So the big question is, when are we going to be able to buy one?
Soon. Yeah, not too long.
Okay.
Keep your eyes on the announcements because they'll be coming along.
Well,
without
okay. Well, we look forward to it.
Definitely. I can't say any more, but yeah, they're definitely on the way. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks, Steve. I say it's been great to be able to have a first look at them, and actually we've had them running around the track. And they are very, very sweet runners indeed.
Yeah.
I shall be saving my pennies for this, I think.